Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Episode 2, Wellness Wednesdays nightcap. Just let a couple of heads get into the chat and then we getting right into it. We're not waiting because we have to cover some interesting topics. If you saw the thumbnail, we're definitely covering red dyes, well, all the dyes, artificial dyes. They're banned in a lot of other countries now. USA is starting to figure it out. Also, we are going to talk about ultra processed foods. What are those? What are those? And we'll get into natural flavors because that's like the new thing right now. It's everywhere. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. And don't feel bad if you can't catch it exactly at this time. 10 o'clock on Wednesdays. I know it's very late for people who are working, who got children, got other responsibilities, have early starts to the day. Don't feel bad. This is actually going to be one of those platforms where you can replay. So even though it's live and we're doing it now and it's an engaging platform, I'm setting it up so that way when you do have the time, you can check it out on the replay. Because I feel like more people will check the replay than the live, but I'm manifesting one day the live will be just as jumping as the replay. But you know how it goes. So welcome to Wellness Wednesdays Nightcap. I'm Chef D, and tonight we're cutting through the colorful lies, the loopholes, and the ultra-processed mess that passes for food in America. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that California had to be the first state to ban food dyes that Europe threw out years ago. Frustrated that labels hide behind words like natural flavor when there's nothing natural about chemical cocktails built in labs. Frustrated that ultra processed foods now make up more than half of what Americans eat every day. But I'm also hopeful because change starts with awareness and with calling it out and with demanding better. So let's just dig right in. So first on the agenda, let's talk about food dyes that have been banned in California. So I don't know if you've been following the news, but food dyes in California, red 40, yellow 5 and 6, blue 1 and 2, green 3. By 2027, they are going to be banned from the food. Now, it would be great if they were banned right away. Sometimes it takes time for these processes to catch up, which it is what it is. But it's interesting that other countries, there's tons of countries that banned these dyes a long time ago. So it's interesting why I don't understand how this can still be a thing in America where we have food dyes that are linked to hypertension, ADHD, autism, also to certain cancers, infertility issues. How is this a thing? How is this allowed in our country? I'll tell you this. One of the reasons is because the safe limits that was proposed by the FDA was decades ago, it was a long time ago. So obviously there are studies that should be done more often. I don't know why the study hasn't been done more often. I don't know if this is big politics playing because some of the food corporations and the food lobbyists, I believe, have something to do with things being delayed. Now, common sense says if there's an item that is linked to all these issues, other countries have done thorough tests and they found that this is disruptive to your reproductive system. Food dyes are disruptive to mental cognition. They're been known to cause cancer. They're known to cause mood dysregulation. You know what I mean? Like just let it go. And obviously some of these are found in a lot of candies, a lot of cereals, a lot of sports drinks, fruit snacks, soft beverages. These things are not hidden. However, I think since it's starting to trend right now, a lot of people are talking about food dyes. There's articles. I think even after this, because you know our phones are listening to us, I think in your timeline you're going to start seeing more stuff about food dyes. And I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to catch fire. I know California, they're banning it in schools. So this is still not a ban that no product cannot be sold, just period. But it's a good start, especially for our kids. They're the most vulnerable population, them and our seniors, especially our special needs kids who are a very special protected population. And I don't feel like they're protected enough. But again, this is the conversation we're having, especially since we're starting to see a rise and a lot of cognitive issues, not just in children, but also in adults. So these bans on the dyes obviously is causing a lot of havoc. And obviously we're going to say the kids, but it's really us too. We are experiencing issues that we can't explain. Like our mood is all jacked up sometimes, our energy is jacked up, our skin starting to break out. Some people are having infertility and reproductive issues, and it's more rampant now than it was before. There was a study that says, I'm looking at it now, that FDA, they're showing that we're eating 5 times more dyes than in 1955. And this is not even this current. This is probably like 3 years ago. That was 5 times. We're probably at like 6 or 7 at this point. Um, Dr. Lauren Zeiss says evidence shows synthetic food dyes are associated with adverse neurobehavioral outcomes in some children. Now, that's just a polite way to say that this is affecting some children. But again, what children? Is it affecting all kids, black kids, white kids, young kids, old kids? Who is this affecting? Minority kids? Is this affecting poor kids? Is this affecting rich kids? Who are the some kids? And this is where we have to really start, digging a little deeper. And I don't want us to get hopeless. I don't want us to get to a point where we're like, we're going against these big engines, these big machines, these big corporations. No, when we speak up, when there's awareness, and especially when our kids are at danger, when our kids are at danger and we're tricked by these marketing packages, they're colorful on the front, it has natural this and it has natural that, and we're duped. And then we give it to our kids, and next thing you know, the kids are starting to act out. Their energy is all over the place. They're disassociated and they're bugging. Straight up, they're bugging. And we're thinking like, oh my gosh, my kids are just misbehaving. We are feeding them fuel, and we're giving them access to fuel that is triggering some of that behavior. It says it right here. It's neural behavioral associated, period. That's why it's banned in a lot of other countries. And I think this country is finally starting to get it. Maybe the capitalistic side is starting to take a seat when it comes to people and health first. Who knows? But I want to really get y'all to understand that when you look on the back of the product and you see red 40, you see yellow 5 and 6, you see blue 1 and 2, and you see green 3, that you should really find a way to put that product back. And especially, you know better, you do better. Don't just take my word. Again, this platform, I'm going to expose, I'm going to share, I'm going to give my professional and personal opinion. And this is a conversation. I'm not here as the expert. I'm just asking the questions that I think we should be asking. And I'm a small fish in the pond right now, but at some point these questions will have to get answered, and the pressure has to stay there. I remember back in the day, a lot of products had high fructose corn syrup, and believe me, people started to rant and rave, and before you know it, you don't really see it on products like that anymore. They've switched out to other garbage. I was just saying it like that, other garbage, bad oils, seed oils, fillers, additives, preservatives, just garbage. And this is the thing. I think they're so busy trying to focus on shelf life that they're not thinking about human life. You're worried more about how long a product can stay on the shelf. You're worried about how long a product can sustain heat or cold or whatever, all these other elements. And you're trying to say it's all for health. It's for sustainability. It's for health. And maybe some companies who are doing it right, who are organic and third party tested, maybe they are doing it right and they are trying to create products that are sustainable and that we can go, like if we're dealing with a famine or we're going on a hike or we need sustained energy, and they're doing, they're mixing science and tech and health, and they're doing it right. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about these big box, big name companies who are doing all this voodoo and magic, black magic inside of a lab, so that way they can biohack our sensors, biohack our feel good pleasure sensors, and make us want this product even more. And that's where the food dyes come in. And speaking of food dyes, let's get right into it. Natural flavors. So already I'm starting on just about every product. Now, mind you, I look at the labels like Inspector Gadget. Well, I don't know Inspector Gadget. He wasn't really that sharp. He just had all the tools. I'm telling my age now. Let's say I look at the labels like someone who just wants to know what they're putting in their body, you know? And these labels are wearing me out. I don't know about you all. I mean, and I got the chat blocked. If you know, put in the chat if you hear, and if you know what I'm talking about. Again, I want to engage with you all a lot more on this platform. Yes, I'm going to be bringing topics and things to talk about and bring some motivation and also some tough love. But always feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I could tie it in, or you know, we can keep it a part of whatever we're doing here. But yeah, the natural flavors. So it to me, I'm starting to see it more and more, and even on some of my favorite products, I'm starting to see natural flavors like that have 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients, and then natural flavors are in there. So I had to start going down this rabbit hole, like natural flavors. What are natural flavors? Why are we seeing natural flavors? Why can't it just be the name of what it is? So if I'm eating a strawberry snack, why can't it just be strawberries as the flavor? Why do you need strawberries and a comma, natural flavor, comma, whatever other ingredients in there? I didn't understand that. So doing a little digging, come to find out that up to 90% of natural flavors or natural flavorings uh, can be additives, or usually are or additives, making them potentially no healthier than artificial flavors. So when it comes to natural flavors, here's the background on it. They are allowed by the FDA, but they don't have to. FDA doesn't require full disclosure of the components in it. The one thing that's very clear that has to be legally abided by is if it's a natural flavor, it has to one of the main ingredient or one of the ingredients, it has to derive from something natural. So anything natural, bark, root, the actual, let's say strawberries. Let's say strawberry. I'm eating a strawberry cookie, and on the ingredient list is strawberries and cookie and natural flavor, right? The natural flavor part has to have something that came from nature. It could be anything, but it had to a plant, a herb, a spice, beaver glands, like back in the day. If you know, you know. It has to come from something natural. However, the other ingredients, the solvents, the emulsifiers, the other additives, they do not have to be natural. They can be lab created. So it makes you almost think like the only difference from artificial and natural is that there's one ingredient that comes from nature, but some of the other ingredients can just come from the lab, which they usually do. So you're asking yourself, is this a legal loophole? Like, what is the whole point of this? Are you now figured out a way that you don't have to say artificial flavor anymore? Because now that's the buzzword. So you could put on the front of your packaging, low in fat, no artificial flavoring. You could put that on there. And then, however, when you guys go to the back, you'll see natural flavorings, which I'm telling you is pretty much identical the when it comes to the component makeup. So meaning that there's one ingredient, the difference is out of artificial and natural, that in the natural flavorings, something has to derive from nature. It has to. But this is the thing. There's a thing called GRAS, GRAS, and it's called generally recognized as safe. And this allows companies to self-approve without full FDA oversight. The other gatekeeper is FEMA, it's FEMA, but not the same FEMA. This is called Flavor and Extract Manufacturers Association. You gotta follow the money. I'm telling you guys, follow the money. When it comes to your food, follow the money. If there's more than 3 ingredients, follow the money, because something's going on. And I'm not saying something negative is going on, but I'm saying there's not enough transparency for us to draw an opinion one way or the other, which is not fair. If you're starting to include items in our food and we don't know what's in there, and some of those items, those components in your natural flavors are biohacking us, they're bypassing our full sensors, they're bypassing our other safeties that are in place, and you're helping us with the dopamine and serotonin release. You want us to feel good. You want us to be happy. You want us to be in a relaxed state. and you're putting this in your natural flavoring, that's not fair. That's not fair. And I don't believe that's something that we want our kids to be a part of. But this is the issue, which I think is a little frustrating because it's in everything. It really is in everything. If you start looking at all your stuff, it's in everything. So what are we not going to eat? No, we got to eat. And it would be great if we just had a farm and we ate off the land, but we don't have that. So we have to be practical. Again, healthy-ish. You guys know we healthy-ish family. So what I want to do is share some ways to work around this so that way you are making sure you and your family are set up for success. So the good thing is that there is a law that when it says natural flavor, it has to list it. It has to be listed that is natural flavor, but also it has to have something that derives from nature. So that's okay for now because I'm still not cool with it because it's too close to artificial flavor. Now this is the funny, crazy part. Also look at your food items. If it's natural strawberry flavored, if it's natural chocolate flavored, if it's natural lemon flavor, let me tell you, what's happening is there's some lab stuff going on. And this is where it becomes the loopholes. This is the gray stuff because we don't know what's in it. We don't know the ingredients they're putting in it. We just don't know. There's enzymes and there's all types of chemicals. We don't know. We just want food. And we're not so pressed about the food lasting on the shelf forever. We just want food that our bodies are going to recognize as nutrients. We want stuff that our kids are not going to crash out and they're not going to have mood misfits. And again, because their hormonal balance is all jacked up, as adults, we want to be able to go in the supermarket and again, some of us are really doing our best. We're doing our best to look at our labels on the front and back. We're eating properly. We're doing our best. We really are. We're getting in the gym. We're trying. But sometimes it feels like when the game is rigged, then some people just be like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. But I don't want us to have that mindset. I just don't want us to have that mindset. That's why this platform is so important to me because I believe that when you know better, you do better. And every single lie they put out, every single gimmick they put out, I'm going to be here at least on Wednesdays. And I know there's other people out there, enthusiasts and nutritionists and dietitians and naturopaths and holistic healers and coaches and personal trainers who are also passionate about getting y'all the truth. So that's all it is. We're just going to keep getting y'all the truth. We're not going to let these big companies overwhelm us and give us label fatigue, give us health fatigue, because that's now starting to become a thing, having health fatigue where it's just so much lies and garbage on the news. One day don't drink coffee, one day drink coffee, one day don't eat chocolate, the next day eat chocolate, one day don't eat seeds with your food, the other day you do have seeds in your fruit. You just don't know where to go sometimes. And I hope that this platform is a equalizer. How about that? Now, when it comes to flavors, artificial or natural, one thing you can be happy about is that when a product is organic and or labeled as certified organic, they have another set of rules, which is great because they have other stipulations that they can't put into their foods. Again, it's still a little gray, but it's a lot better than having a product that's not organic, that has natural in it, in the title, in the subtitle, in the ingredients, anything that says natural, 100% natural, and then goes in and has natural flavors on the back. Again, yes, it can mean that everything started from Earth, but it doesn't mean that they did not add something in it to keep it longer shelf life, to biohack your sensors, to improve the taste. Because again, they hijack the texture so that way it's softer, and also the texture is there's a fat like consistency, so that way you eat more. And when you chew less, again, when you have to chew and munch and break up the food, there are enzymes that start to release that starts to trigger the digestive system and say, okay, here we go. And then in the stomach, this is what we're talking about with GLP-1, the last episode. That's a sensor to let you know, hey, we full, we good, we good. Hey, put the spoon down, put the fork down. We good. We tapping out. We tapping out. However, when you get your sensors bio hacked, you consume food quicker. That's why they usually say chew 15, 30 times. But if you have something that just melted right in your mouth, or it's been engineered to just melt as soon as the saliva hits or contact, you're going so fast. So you consume 2 to 3 times the amount that you would normally have consumed if you were chewing and biting regular food. So it's just something for us to know. Start finding foods that you have to chew more and bite more. Again, this doesn't include those who are on restrictive diets like bite size or liquid diets. I get you. I'm talking about everyday, you know what I'm saying. So find foods that you're chewing, find natural foods that you're eating, and you have to break it up. So that way you're not tricking the body and you're not just over consuming. Another thing, when it comes to natural flavors, so this was my biggest issue when I was doing this homework here, is that the manufacturers, so the USDA organic standards, like I said, stricter for flavorings in terms of synthetic solvents and processing aids. So what you can do, this is if you got that kind of time and there's a product you really like, you can call the manufacturer and you can ask them for their chemical structure, chemical label, and get a, excuse me, or get a better understanding of what's in your food. You can do that. But again, they're not just going to offer it. And I just want y'all to know that. Look at your, this is why we're trying to say, try to limit your fast food. Oh my God, try to limit fast food, because if you go on the website and just name any of your favorite fast food, McDonald's, Taco Bell, KFC, Sonic, any of these fast places that have the drive-through value menu, you go on the website and you start breaking down their ingredient list, it will make you disgust. You will be sick to your stomach, because you will see so many things, some things you can't even pronounce, but there's so many things in that food item that has been engineered and designed allegedly to biohack your sensors, to have you coming back for more like crack. And I'm telling you now, yes, it's quick, it's convenient, you can get it for your family on the way home from work, but the issue is that you aren't really supporting your family the best way you can if this is your main way to feed your family. Again, every once in a while, it is what it is, because I'm believing healthy is you got to have some fun. You got to, try things. There are foods that are, it is what it is. But I'm saying regular basis. Next, ultra processed foods. Oh, Lord. So that was a lot of what I was pretty much talking about. Ultra processed foods is usually have those two. They call UPFs. So this is refined starches. This is added sugars. This is bad oils, and a lot of additives, because they're focused more on the shelf life. They're saying kids, their diet is about 67% of their calories are coming from ultra processed foods. Not like back in the day where we had apples and fruit and whole grain items and lean meats. No, a lot of the stuff is coming in packaging and plastic and boxes, and it's really taking a toll on our youth. We're up. We're actually up. This is the first time that the percentage of obesity, I shouldn't say first time, but this is the time that we're in, that the percentage of obesity in US kids are higher than the percentage of overweight kids. And I don't know if you know this, there's normal weight, there's overweight, there's obesity, and there's underweight. So I'm saying for one of the time that we're in, that our kids, the percentage we're at obese, there's more obese kids than there are overweight kids. And that's just not acceptable. That's not good. Some of it has to do with a lack of diet and exercise, them being active, them being on the tablets. But another big chunk studies are pointing to, it has a lot to do with their diet. So a lot of the ultra processed foods are starting to be linked to obesity, which we just talked about, diabetes, heart disease, and even depression. So I have friends who have teenagers, and they say it's a scary time. Raising kids around this time is scary, because the mood irregulation is something unheard. It's not like anything any of us have seen before. Our kids seem sadder. They seem more withdrawn. Their moods seem all over the place. Their energy seem all over the place. It seems like sometimes they just don't care. Like they, I want to say they don't give a damn. But that's not the case. Sometimes their fuel is off. They're not being fueled properly, and they're hormonal. And again, they're going through puberty and a lot of other stuff. But it's not just kids, it's also adults. Some of us are off as well. And we can't figure out, why are we like this? It's not midlife crisis. It's not money. It's not this or that. Sometimes you can't figure out what it is. And you talk to a therapist, you talk to your pastor, talk to your friends and your family, and you still can't figure out what's going on. Sometimes it really is a diet. Like your diet needs an overhaul. We just talked about what the dyes are looking like. Now, what about ultra processed foods? We also talk about natural flavors, which again is not the end of the world because again, it's a step up from artificial flavors. But again, they starting to get sneaky. So I'm saying this now, and we'll probably replay this in the future. That this natural flavor thing is starting to be a little loophole, and I believe they're starting to put stuff in there that we don't know about, and I believe it's starting to cause issues that we still don't know about yet. That it's starting to show up in different tests. I think other countries are starting, they know, and I think they're starting to put two and two together. Um, the other thing that I think we have to be on the lookout for when it comes to ultra processed foods, yes, they're usually convenient, they're affordable, and we get tricked because we see they're fortified or enhanced. So they fortify with iron and calcium and some other nutrients. However, we just don't understand that the nutrients aren't sometimes bioavailable because they've been over processed. So there's certain nutrients that can last through processing and heat and cold. However, they reduce in their efficacy, their effectiveness, and their bioavailability. So what ends up happening is you have all this labeling saying that this has this percentage of vitamin A, this percentage of vitamin C, this percentage of vitamin E. However, what's the bioavailability? So that's good. It looks good on the back of the label, but how much of that is my body going to actually absorb because this product was processed or ultra processed? That's what you have to be on the lookout for. Um, but it's not the end of the world. I feel like when you know better, you do better. And this is not to be the bearer of bad news, but I believe it just starts with small habits. It just really starts with small smart habits. And if you know what's the acronym SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. This is saying, hey, we have Oreos in the house, we have Doritos, we have Takis, we have Skittles, we have Starburst, we have the refrigerator, the freezers filled with Ben and Jerry's, and shout out, oh man, I don't know if y'all heard the CEO or one of the founders of Ben and Jerry just quit. I didn't know Unilever purchased them. I think it's Unilever, which is a big company. They do cosmetics and other stuff. And just know when Ben and Jerry, I remember they were all about they were forward thinkers when it came to just fairness and humanity and justice. And he said he had to quit because they aren't allowed to be as expressive as they were before, and he can't be a part of that anymore. So shout out to him. Much respect to that man right there. I don't know him, but just that little bit I do know, that's pretty admirable because sometimes it's profit over people. So when you have people who are like, nah, it's still people over profit, and it's still people with people, then that's my people. That's my kind of people. But again, going back to the list, you got stuff in your house. So I'm not saying throw everything away right now. I'm just saying start small and start letting it stack up. You know better now. You heard this show. I'm sorry. You probably wish you didn't tune in. You probably wish you didn't listen to the replay. But you heard it now. You are understanding that some of the foods that are on the shelf are not so good for our families. They're not so good for you. They're not good for your mood. It's not good for how well you're aging because it helps. Some of these food allegedly are affecting premature aging, also fertility. These are things that you want to keep in mind when you're going for a cheaper product that's on sale. You want to look at the label. Mind you, there are some products that are fairly priced, and you just want to look at the label. We talked about this on the last episode. There's no real excuse because fast food is just as expensive, if not as organic food or all natural food or whole food. It's just pretty much the same. You go to McDonald's or any of these places, and the meals will run up they'll run up the tab. And if you go to the grocery store, you take that same money, you'll be able to stretch the meal a little bit more. And on top of that, you're eating healthier and you're giving your family something that actually is going to support their mental, their emotional, and their physical health. That's the real goal. How are you supporting you and your family? Are you just trying to save a buck today? Because that buck you save today, you're going to end up having to pay tomorrow. Ask any older person who just didn't really care when it came to their health. That's the one thing you can't get your health back. No matter how much you grinding and hustling right now, you're getting all this money, all these opportunities. If your health is not priority and it's not paramount in your life, at some point you won't be able to enjoy all the hard work you're doing now. Yes, you can have hard, you can work hard and take care of your health. That's a such thing because people are doing it every day. So again, I'm going back to the list. So you got all these things in your house. Just make it up in your mind that you will start swapping out some stuff. You'll start swapping out some of these, foods we've been eating all of our lives, goldfish and Swedish fish and all these sugary things, yo plate yogurts that are, all these things that have these processed stuff in it. You're starting getting to a point where you can be, and you know what? I'm gonna do more work on my side too. I'm gonna start doing a this and a that. So that way I'm not telling you to throw away all your toys. I'm gonna start trying to show the comparison for stuff. I was funny, my uncle and my pops was at the house. Guys, I'm caring for my granddad, and there's a company I like. I mean, they're cool. Again, we are healthiest family, so that means we're not health extremes and we're not health fanatics. We're not crazy about it. We still have to live on this planet. That, they are going to have celebrations at work where someone brings a dozen donuts. There are going to be times where you're going to school and it's someone's birthday and they're bringing a sheet cake from Costco. I get it. I'm not saying you got to be the stuck up one in the corner and can't eat nothing. I know. I'm saying that there has to be balance, and it has to be in a way that you're putting your health first. So back to that, I had my pops and my uncle at the house, and even Felicia, my sister. I had them try. It's this brand called Late July. They don't sponsor me, not at the recording of this date. I don't have any sponsor. I don't do any companies like that. So if I say something, it's because I actually like it. And I had them try. Even my mom's. I had them try Late July nacho cheese compared to Doritos. Now they've been eating Doritos forever, but they have been killing the Late July. All you're doing is looking on the back of the package and determining what the ingredients are. And if there's one, I wish we treat eating like we treated dating, like we treated our friends. Where I mean, when it comes to red flags and the BS, I wish we get to a place where we start, cutting it out. Like we ain't with the BS anymore. We ain't with the games. I hope we do that with our food and some of these companies. The same way we treat dating and we treat our friends and we treat jobs. I'm not doing that. I hope it's the same energy because again, even though they're being sneaky with the back of the label, you just got to do a little digging. So Late July got a nacho cheese and like this cool ranch. Doritos got cool ranch, so I know it's not cool ranch, but it's like a ranch. It's almost like that. And they have a jalapeno cheese or something like that. I don't like spicy, but it's still good. And it's actually really good. So I believe there's places. I use Thrive Market. Again, they don't sponsor me. I use Thrive Market. I pay my little membership each year. It's almost like a Costco membership, but they deliver everything. Everything is delivered. And every food item that you see in your local grocery store, they have a comparable product to it that is usually organic, that doesn't have all the BS, and they take a pride in it. They really take a pride in the stuff that they put on their site. They even do the meats, and they ship it frozen. They have frozen foods. They just don't do produce, but they have frozen foods. I mean, they don't do fresh produce. They have frozen foods, and they have a lot of snacks. And some of these would be considered ultra processed snacks as well, and processed snacks. The difference would be what's on the label. So are there a whole bunch of ingredients, or is it considered an ultra processed snack because of the shelf life or because of one ingredient? Just check it out. But there's a lot, I know some people do Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. Okay, those are great. I shop at some of those places too. But I like Thrive because they're affordable. They always got sales, like big sales. And usually that's like my Christmas gift to people. I get them a membership and let them do what they do. You know what? I have an idea. I have an idea. I think to kind of make these a little more fun too, and just to get the engagement up, and just so y'all can see where my heart is a little bit. I want to, on some of these shows, I want to start giving out some stuff. And obviously we're working on our new healthy-ish merch. We have an upgrade, which I'm very excited about. Shout out to Shane, definitely some of the brains behind that operation, and also my sister Felicia, really on top of what this next 2.0 of healthiest looks like. I'm excited. I mean, it's athleisure wear, and it's stuff that you're gonna wear in the gym. It's not tight fitting, it's very relaxed and very loose. But if you have to just run out to the store, you're still looking good. And if you just, it's just loungewear, it looks really good. And I'm very excited about the design side of it. Right now, we're sourcing actual materials and just wanted to, look right. Also, I'm working on my Chef D blends, my seasonings, salt free. And I just want to start giving some of that stuff out. So I don't know what Wednesday I'm gonna start. You guys gonna see me here on Wednesdays. Next Wednesday, it might be pre-recorded because I have a flight coming back. It might be pre-recorded, but you guys might not see me here. I might be on my phone, and we probably still gonna do it. But God willing, I'm gonna be with y'all live as often as I can on Wednesdays without any excuse, and just be you guys' eyes and ears on what's going on currently in the news and what's going on just in general. I don't know with the chat. I feel bad because I think I messed up the setting. Felicia's not here. She's in New York at a WNBA game. She's my techie. So I'm sorry if you are sending chats and I don't see it. I don't understand. It might not be connected this time. Sorry, guys, but I would love to engage. Like I thought, it'd probably be some questions for this episode. Um, but yeah, what I will do because I'm a pivot, we don't have a hot seat this week. The reason why we don't have a hot seat because I'm actually looking for. Oh wow, we here. Okay, okay, you guys are here. Welcome. I appreciate this. Okay, it's working. Great. Um, when it comes to now I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, y'all. I got excited. I saw some chats. You guys don't understand. I'm new to this. This is like all humble beginning. So one chat to me and like a view or two, like watching, that's like really huge for me right now, especially as I'm still trying to, get my bearings on this platform. Um, but dang, I forgot what I was going to say. I probably look at the replay and it's like, that's what you were talking about, and you forgot. But let me look at the chat. What about a senior line of sportswear? Well, the good thing about this this athleisure wear is that it's for anyone as long as it's your size. Seniors, for the most part, I don't think they need a separate kind of wear. You know what I mean? Because all of our skins are pretty much the same. But this is 100% organic cotton that we're sourcing, and the style is so simple, but it's very like clean. It's like a really clean, good style. So for seniors, for kids, for adults, this is going to be one of those brands that I believe you'll be proud of. The quality is going to be like amazing because we're not going cheap. We're not looking to do the $10 t-shirt or the $20 hoodie. We're actually looking to source quality product and match it with the retail of that product. Other than that, yeah, you know what's funny? I was looking to go for a full hour, and the other part of this would have been with my hot seat, which I don't have today. And the reason for that is we're looking for a software. I don't know how to add a person on YouTube, so I'm just keeping it real with you all. This is not edited or anything like this. So I am looking for a software. I believe Felicia is going to set me up with the software. So maybe next Wednesday we'll be able to finally get someone on a hot seat. Also, I want to start bringing some guests on. I have some of my friends in the industry who are now saying, "Hey, I heard about this Wellness Wednesday. Who is it for?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's for anybody, especially if it's on the topics I'm talking about for that week." So I'm gonna get you guys some guests, and I'm gonna just kind of keep plumping this platform up and getting y'all the information I believe you need to hear. That's pretty much it. I was trying to go for an hour, but I don't want to just talk to be talking. Like my grandfather say, talk, 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 talk. I want to make sure that whenever I'm on this platform, I'm not wasting your time, and I'm not just trying to get an hour's worth of time just for the sake of it. At this point, since I don't have my hot seat for this week, that's pretty much it. I mean, if there's any questions in the chat, I'll answer those now. If not, I appreciate y'all for being here. Those are watching the replay, I thank you. Drop in the comments any questions you have. I do go back and I look at those and I respond to those. And sometimes if you don't see a response, like I'll respond like, thank you for, replying. If I don't give you a full response, it's because I'm going to bring it over to the next episode. Like last week, someone was asking about supplements when it came to ashwagandha or Goli, and to see if those are really good supplements and stuff. So, and I answered actually, that was one of the answers, but next week, we're actually going to talk a little bit more about supplements, what's out there, the gimmicks, the garbage. It's supplements. It is one of these. I feel like it's the real pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. And I'm gonna tell y'all why for sure. When you go in and you see all these supplements, and I'm not just talking about for muscle. I'm not just talking about for protein. I'm talking about you go in the store and you see vitamin E supplements, vitamin D supplements, ashwagandha. When you've seen these supplements, we really have to talk about who are we getting them from and who are we sourcing them from. Some of the big companies you guys are seeing, their stuff is not third party tested. It has lead. It has allegedly, it has stuff in it. And a lot of their stuff is not bioavailable. So you're not getting the full benefit of what you're seeing on the label. It's a, yeah, yep. We'll talk about that. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining me on this live. Health is wealth. And remember, I'm just here to make sure you're getting paid. Until next time, yum on. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all. Seriously, we on show number 2. And next week, we got show number 3. And after that, show number 4. Y'all know, yada, yada, yada. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being on.